Well, how are you, Miss Joanne Penny? How are you? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am fantastic. I'm so glad to finally see you again, talk to you again, hear your voice, all of that.
Oh, and you too. Likewise.
Yes, my God. So tell me, you guys, this is Kareem Jackson. You guys are live on the set. I've got Joanne Penny, the diva of LinkedIn, the DEI diva of LinkedIn. Beautiful, beautiful young lady. And of course, she's got her new book, she's got her website, she's got all of these great things going on. So, you guys, you can follow her, love her, like her, deal with her, connect with her, engage with her. But either way, she's here. We've got questions. Joanne, we've got like about 10 questions they've asked for us while you were traveling and while we were figuring out our technical difficulties. They've been
Okay.
asking like tons of questions.
Okay.
But before we get into that, Joanne, my goodness, did you hear any of the the segment or no?
No, unfortunately, I didn't. Sorry. I was stuck
Oh,
behind a
okay.
juggernaut.
Uh,
Yes.
yeah, okay. So the whole thing is that right now with the whole DEI, the whole segment, the whole industry, everyone
Yeah.
is saying, and these are professionals like you, not the workers, but the professionals saying that pretty much everyone's kind of the expression is F the freaking money. They're asking about other things like happiness and benefits and freedom and remote work and all of these things. Are you experiencing the same thing?
Absolutely. People are asking for way much more now, and they recognise that actually they don't need to conform to, a standard that a fake standard that's been set for them. So they really want to make sure that they're working somewhere that they've got authentic chance to progress. Even if they're diverse, they're black, they're brown, they're ethnically diverse, they've got that authenticity. They want to be happy. I mean, at the end of the day, it does affect profits in terms of a business. So I would say the simplest way to look at it is um, your workforce, the happiness is your growth, really.
Hmm. And now it's like, the whole situation is that we said that the happiness now is an ROI. It's literally a situation where right now happiness, right? That's a thing. It's something they look for
Yeah.
like parking spot.
Yeah. Happiness equals a productive workforce, right? Which is why, employers that are not diverse and are not thinking about all of those other areas are the ones that are going to be left behind,
It's true.
right?
It's true.
Yeah.
And I've been telling folks about you, and we'll get into this later on, but I've been telling folks, like, no, she helps folks figure that out. Can you, this one real quick here. I'm going to get like a little refill of that, please. Thank you. I'm sitting here in the tropics, darling, and it is summertime, so it's hot. I'm literally got the ice air on me, but it's still hot. But I'm going to
Actually,
play.
for once, it's actually sunny in the UK, so
Oh,
snap.
see,
But we're
okay.
happy. We're happy. Yeah, we're really
Yeah, that's
happy.
that's rare. Okay, that's that day. That's that global warming, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
It's hot in the UK right now.
It's
But
hot in the UK. It's not great. It's not great. Yeah.
I'm gonna play this video to kind of set our folks up that are just joining us now. You guys, Cream Jackson live on the set. You guys, let's play the show intro. And I have this lady that was she's from Jamaica. She went to Canada and worked for 10 years, and then she literally says, "This right you bought." She literally says that she left because she wanted to be happy, and she was just depressed, and her mental health and all this stuff, and she'd only been in the West for 10 years. She was paying
Wow.
$1,500 a month for health care. So how could you be happy
Yeah.
about that, right? And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
now, let me play this and I'll be right back to you, but we want to set these guys up real quick.
So, this video is for those of you out there who still think my decision, my personal choice to move back home, but come back to Jamaica is somehow uneducated or unsmart or whatever. My name is Chantal, otherwise known as Tavia, that's my yard name, and I lived in Canada for 10 years. I didn't have any glitz, glimmer, or anything like that, but I was okay. My dad, I had family, I had support around me. So basically, my family was okay where a lot of things were concerned. Why did I come back? I'm telling this before, there are so much different reasons, but like I've thought about it a lot more now. And I realized that like where you are, your surrounding, it affects your mental health a lot more than anybody give credit for. Like I know yeah, maybe study this in a school or whatever, but like I have literally felt this. I have experienced this. When I am in Canada, my brain, my mindset is so different. These are just some of the reason why I made this decision, right? Like when I am there, me I think about how my body look and all of them foolishness. They like, when me there Jamaica, me no care about none of that. Like me I live life, me I try to survive, me I hustle, me I do my thing, me feel strong. Like not saying when I am in Canada, I'm gonna feel strong, you know, I'm not say that. But you hear that? But it felt more like where my father I say a rat race then. Like you're just working for pay the bills them and literally sit down and think about it like paying $1,500 for daycare for my kids to go play. Like you have to make that decision as a woman. Like what is foreign? Like what is it? What is foreign? Honestly, it's just where you are. And if you can make life a foreign, why you can't make life anywhere else in this friggin' world? So for the judgment them, it's honestly from people who don't understand, and I get that. And to do this TikTok thing, remember me tell you, I had to develop a tough skin, so only not really phase me, just so you know, like I have my plan. I wish I made this plan when I was even younger, because trust me, to be happy is the goal. That's what woman want and that's what I strive for. And if I had put certain things in place before, I would be even more happier right now, trust me. So just go on.
Three, two, one. We are live. Hello, world. Success is for everyone, baby. You're live on the set with Kareem Jackson. Yes, let's go.
I'm really glad that you are back here right now, you guys. I have got Miss Joanne Penny, the diva from LinkedIn, on the show with me. This is going to be a fire show. You guys have been waiting for this segment for quite some time, but the DEI thing is pretty popular right now. And besides opinions, I want to bring an expert. As I told you guys, and you guys have been flooding me with the questions, so I know you were listening. You got about $5,000 worth of consulting right now for free on your phone, on your laptop, wherever you're watching us, anywhere in the world right now. If you're not in the UK or America, $5,000 can be $250,000 pesos. You guys, which one? So you guys, if you guys love her, if you guys know her, amp up your voice. Is That's her, Janelle Penny, Joanne Penny. You guys, phenomenal, phenomenal young lady. Connect with her on LinkedIn. Follow her. Go to her website. You guys, she's got her book out. She's got a great company right now. But before we get into that, I'm going to her introduce herself. But before we get into that, you guys, we got some questions. And Joanne Penny, you can bring her up for you real quick. Joanne Penny, they have been beating me down with these questions. We had the show before you came on, and I made them wait, sister, until you came. You ready to get into it? You ready to get right to it?
Let's get into it. Yeah.
Let's get into it. Okay, go ahead. What's the first question? I can relax a little bit.
Hello, good evening. Um, these are 5 questions from Black individuals highlighting their experiences with mental health, stress, and challenges as business owners catering to white organizations. Can you hear me clear, ma'am? This is the first question.
Just about, yeah.
Perfect. First question, Justin from Detroit. I've often felt isolated and stressed as one of the few black employees in my workplace.
Ooh.
How can I cope with the mental strain and isolation? Thank you.
Oh, what do you think, Miss Joanne?
I mean, that's a tough one, right? Because I would say, as a person. I'm so sorry that you're experiencing that and you're going through that. And we know that racism and mental health intersect. And if you're ethnically diverse, you are more likely to experience mental health challenges. So you're not unique. Lots of people, globally are experiencing exactly what you're experiencing. But really, the onus is on the business that you're working in to provide safe spaces for you, to provide that inclusion piece for you. If they're not doing that, then obviously, what I would suggest is find someone that you can talk to within the business, find someone that can advocate on your behalf, maybe raise issues that you're not confident in raising, and maybe, approach the relevant people to start the conversation, engaging in, this is how people are feeling within your organization. Do you know that, and what are you going to do about it?
Wow, what comes to my mind, Joelle. To be honest, this is Miss Jasmine from Detroit. I'm in Asia. I'm the only black person in every room I pretty much walk into. The difference here than in the West is that it's not because they're racist, because there's just no blacks here. There's no one. And I think that's a lot of the stress is that you know that you're the first and they're watching your ass. They're looking at you. They're like, you're the first one. We gave you a break. You got a chance. I think it's not about the firm only black in the room situation, especially when you mention stressed and isolated. I'm completely isolated. I miss black folks sometimes, having a good time, chilling with my brothers and sisters and my peoples. But I think that what happens in the whole DEI situation, the whole diversity, is that they don't realize it's it's not just because you're the only one. It's because you know why you're the first one and the only one. You feel me, Joanne? I think that's
Yeah,
the mental issue. It's not. I don't feel that here. I'm the only black in the room right now. I'm my own damn studio. I'm the diversity, equity, inclusion king. I got
yeah,
blacks
yeah.
and Puerto Ricans and Filipinos and Africans and Americans in my company, but no one thinks and feels isolated. I think that just goes along with the fact that in your heart, you know why you're the first one.
You know why you're the first one. And this is why when people now are looking for positions and job roles, they're really working out, is this an organization that I'll be happy in, that I can authentically progress in, and that's where businesses really need to be on track in terms of that recruitment, retention, attraction piece, because they're not going to be attracting the crucial talent that they need, the diverse voices. So yeah, it's a very tricky landscape. And I always say you can't aspire to be what you can't see. So that lack of representation is a reason to feel isolated and stressed in itself. Let alone all the other stuff that's going on that we know goes on. So the microaggressions and the,
Hmm.
like you
Hmm.
said, being held to a really high standard
When
where
the the
counterparts
yes.
are not being held to the same, your white counterparts are not being held to the same standard, right?
Yeah, I think it's great. I love this question. I knew you would be good at this because one thing that I hate, and we'll get into this. I don't want to digress because I ain't talked to you in a long time. We got to catch up. I want to know how's the baby doing, how's London, how's the book. But one thing I noticed with all these DEI folks on LinkedIn, and I won't name any names, but we've talked about them before. They never mention anything about the people dealing with the BS.
Mm.
Literally, could you? I can't imagine, but I'm sure you can. But and maybe not because you're not in Detroit. But she's literally at work, doing her thing, driving through traffic. It's Friday night. She's TGIF. She's like going to get some drinks, right? And you look up, and she's sitting up here dealing with stress and isolation at her job. Like what? That's crazy to me. Crazy to me, Joanne.
I
I can't
think I think
imagine.
the yes, sir.
Go ahead.
I
I'm
think
sorry.
in the DEI circuit and the practitioners, they're pretty much trying to tackle the system approach, so the system of power, to try and dismantle and deconstruct that so that it filters down. But I would say that DEI is like a puzzle. You have all these different component parts, and actually they all need to work together to fit that whole picture. So it has to, I always talk about the onus is on the business to deconstruct and dismantle any systemic barriers, racism, discrimination that's manifested within the business. but it's also that personal accountability. So what can you do as individuals within the business to make a difference? But yeah, I think the support. I mean, we're beginning to see now the support for Black and ethnically diverse people. People are beginning to recognise, oh, okay, we need to have some support mechanisms in place. So you're looking at like talent acceleration. You're looking at employee resource groups. So to provide that safe space so people can talk freely. But you're right, Kareem. Like we have a long way to go.
What's the next question?
Next question, Malik from New Orleans. As a black business owner, dealing with uh, predom- predominantly white clients, I often feel extra pressure and stress. How can I manage these demands without compromising my well-being?
Wow. Go ahead, Miss Joanne. You're the guest, honey.
I'm the best.
I took it from Detroit. You know, she's stressed out to the entrepreneur dealing with crazy contractors. But go ahead.
I know, sorry, there's a lot of noise going on out here. So Melek from New Orleans, it's a very similar question to the one we just had. But I think it's, obviously you need to take time out to manage your health, your well-being, and I find that having a support network, you can't change those white businesses that you're working with. And, economically you need to carry on working with them. But can you get yourself a support network of people that you can lean on, you can talk to, maybe other Black business owners? Can you build a community? Can you collaborate with other people so that you do feel confident, so you do have more of a say? Or just to bounce ideas off, or generate new ideas. I think having that support network and finding people that are really in your camp makes a huge difference to your well-being and coping with those demands. And on top of that, when you build that network, when you build that collaborative space with other Black business owners, you then again have that diversity of thoughts. You get different ideas. How do we tackle this? You're not alone. You're not broaching that by yourself. You're working collectively with people, coming up with new ideas and ways to handle this extra pressure and stress. And actually, once we've been used to working in silos, right? So I always say, up until George Floyd was murdered, we pretty much were forced into a siloed approach because it was such a competitive, arena. We didn't have a voice, but actually now, we can afford to have that collaborative approach. And actually, there's so much more of a win we're stronger as a team. So yeah, Malek, I think that's my answer in a nutshell. Try and get that support network around you. Try and collaborate with other Black business owners. Come up with new ways of dealing with difficult clients or businesses, or that extra pressure and stress. And actually, you'll build that confidence to say, actually, this demand that you're giving me is not acceptable, or we're going to handle this in a different way, or whatever way that you want to do it. But I think really sort of getting that would be helpful.
Wow. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it rolling. Yeah, they're excited now. They got them now. We got back to back. Let's keep going.
Third question, Lauren from Washington. Balancing work and self-care is tough, especially with the constant racial microaggressions. What strategies can help me maintain my mental health?
Yeah, I agree. Balancing work and self-care is absolutely, so tough. It's absolutely crucial. I think it sort of speaks to what I was just saying into Malek, in terms of building that support network around yourself. So armoring yourself and building that confidence is a strategy to deal with mental health. Obviously, you'll know all the other things you can do in terms of, taking time out, not working too late, trying to find advocates within where you work or within your business who can support you at work is also a very good strategy. And then really speaking to the people, really, I suppose, identifying where your pain points are, where is that stress coming from, and so is there anything that the business can be doing to help you? And again, if you have that support, you may have that confidence then to go to the business to say, actually, this is how I'm feeling, this is why, and this is what, you know, I'd like to be done about it.
You know, it's funny. We played a video earlier of a Gen Z, and I want to address her too and really understand that I was in therapy twice a week back in the day, Mondays and Fridays. And it's cool. I got it. I had a great therapist. It was really a shrink. You know, I was old school before they
Yeah,
called them therapists. But it was like I would go in on Friday, and by Monday, I would be like, they said, you were just here 48 hours ago. You just literally lost your whole life in your mind, right? In 48 hours.
yeah.
And they remind me that I was, you know, and now I had a nice therapist who understood I shouldn't be here forever. You know, they were trying to get me, you know, to feel great. And my whole thing was I realized fuck the money and I wanted to simplify my life and become a minimalist and things like that. But I'll tell
Mm,
you, then when it comes to it, I really think a lot of these folks, they don't really think like, wow, why are we having these mental health issues in the first place? Therapy is great and the balance is great. But there's one video I want to play with the young Gen X, the one where he's talking about the work-life balance. This is a funny video. He's adorable. Bear with me, Joanne, but it's really cute. But it kind of puts it in to let you know you're not the only one thinking like this. The DeAndre work-life balance, and this is the new generation too. So the new generation is watching what we're going through, and they're like, "Oh hell no, fuck the money. You know, I want."
Does anyone see the problem with this work-life balance? No? My God, we are doomed. Let me help you out. Life needs to go in front of work and create life-work balance, okay? Because at the end of the day, life always trumps work, alrighty? So we need to put our life before we put our work. Use that from now on. Does anyone see the problem with this work-life balance? No? My God, we are doomed. Let me help you out. Life needs to go in front of work and create life-work balance, okay? Because at the end of the day, life always trumps work, alrighty? So we need to put our life before we put our work. Use that from now on. Does anyone see the problem with this?
You feel me, Joanne? I'm
I
just
feel you. Definitely work-life balance, which is hard to achieve when you're suffering with your mental health, right?
And mind you, you don't
But
know
it's
that you're suffering, right? You don't
yeah,
know
but
it.
that's why I was saying to the last person, you know, it's about identifying where your pain points are, and like you said, understanding why you're feeling like that, and then what can you do about it. And I totally agree with that video. We're all set up, our culture is set up that we give our lives, our souls, everything that we have to work, and we think we're indispensable.
Yeah.
Actually, we're not indispensable to any corporate business. You'll be replaced, you know, within instance. So, you know, it's about working out how you add value to the organization, but also not, you know, undermining your own mental health in that process. So, yeah, absolutely work-life balance.
And I just wanted to put that there so that Lorraine from Washington D.C. that you realize you ain't alone, and probably
Not
you're
alone.
older than this kid, and so the next generation is already feeling what you feel already. What's the next
Yeah,
question?
absolutely.
This is Andrew's question from Chicago. I've heard about the Crown Act and its importance, but advocating for it in my business dealings has been challenging. How can I navigate these conversations without facing retaliation?
Wow. Can you read that again?
Okay. Andre from Chicago. I've heard about the Crown Act and its importance, but advocating for
Mm.
it in my business dealings has been challenging. How can I navigate these conversations without facing retaliation?
That's a good one. So he got a lot of black girlfriends, Joanne, and he's trying to get them jobs. And they
I
like, we
think
like all
actually
your friends, but their hair's a little wild. They got. Go ahead, Joanne, please. I'm sorry. It was funny.
the
As a
crown,
real
the
what
crown,
is he saying? I'm sorry. It's just funny to me. Sorry, Joanne. It's funny to me that I could be me and you could be coworkers, Joanne, right? And it's funny to me thinking
absolutely.
I could be in the conference room or the office or whatever the hell, and they like, Kareem, what's up with Joanne's hair? And you like,
Right.
there's a law, right? You mean, I'm sorry. It just hit me very funny because I'm being a visual of him trying to defend and explain the Crown Act, which is the professional word for your hair, in the
Hair,
workplace.
yeah.
But please go ahead. I'm sorry. I just hit me in the funny bone.
Well, hair discrimination is very real, especially for us Black women. But it is that lack of understanding by your peers and the people that you work with. They do not understand the importance of the Crown Act or why hair is so important. We know it dates back to slavery. We know people cane mowed their hair to have escape routes to put their map in their hair. We know the history, but unfortunately, the people that you're working with probably don't understand the gravitas or the significance of the Crown Act. And what I would say is you probably trying to have those one-on-one conversations probably will be very difficult and you won't get very far ahead. So again, is there an opportunity to, for instance, in the UK, we have employee resource groups. So for instance, you could have a Black and ethnically diverse resource group within the business to raise some of these issues, and then collectively together you work out how you're going to approach the business or bring the business in to hear your concerns or all this discrimination that might be being played out, and then you work out those strategies. I think trying to be a lone person in this is and having these conversations, and then if you're the minority or you're the marginalized community within that office, then the others can very much sometimes become that sort of pack mentality, that wolf mentality, where it is an attacking situation. So how do you get the support? How do you have a voice? How are you able to advocate by getting yourself that support network?
I can't imagine a regular. This, I mean, this is not. I assume that he would not. He doesn't know how to answer or deal with it because it's not his job to regulate Black women's hair. You know what I mean? And I mean, I love this segment. It's a very popular segment, but every time I hear the Black questions, I'm amazed at the things that they're dealing with inside these walls. You're probably not as
Yeah.
shocked as I am. You've been, this is what you do. But
No.
me, I'm
Yeah.
like, I couldn't imagine being at work and someone's like, Kareem, you got to talk to your homegirl Joanne. Every day she comes in, her hair is different. Or every day, her hair is so big they can't see around her afro to see the screen. I can't imagine. What do they say? Like what do they actually come to? Anyway, next question. I'm sorry, but it's amazing.
I would say,
I feel bad.
but what I would say from the questions that have been raised so far, everyone is putting the onus on themselves. Like, how can I, as a lone person, how can I deal with this? You can't tackle these issues by yourself as the lone Black person in your office or in your team. That is an unachievable task. So that's why I'm saying this is how we have to box clever. What are the strategies? Because actually, it's not your responsibility. The onus is not on you to explain to your business why the Crown Act is important. So again, it's like, what is the business doing in terms of navigating this conversation? What are they doing to educate their demographic in terms of microaggressions and inclusive language, including hair, or what are you eating, or all that stuff, Kareem, that we know gets bantered around the office all the time. What is the business doing? So I know it's really easy to put the responsibility on ourselves. It's actually not your responsibility. You are already traumatized. You are already tired. You are already suffering with your mental health. You already have taken this on your shoulders. what are they doing? And are there some strategies to get the business to recognize and understand that they need to be educating their workforce?
I see. Amen. What's the next? This is our last question from the Black Folk Show.
From Darnell from Atlanta.
Oh, Georgia.
I'm tired of
Whoa.
the constant assumption
Tired. She already tired. I'm
that
sorry.
I'm an affirmative action hire. How can I assert my qualifications and work without facing backlash? I'll repeat. Darnell from Atlanta. I'm tired of the constant assumption that I'm an affirmative action hire. How can I assert my qualifications and work without facing backlash?
Damn, Joanne, please take it home, girl. Jesus, is this what y'all dealing with?
I've heard it before, but to hear it,
oh my God,
it's so. I'm so sorry, Darnell. That is absolutely so disrespectful of your co-workers to actually have the audacity to say that to you, and I'm so sorry about that. I don't think that you do have to prove yourself and assert your qualifications. You do you. You're good at your job. You the proof is in the pudding, as we say in the UK. You do a great job. You shine. You do the best that you can do. That will prove to other people without using words that you are the best candidate for the job. You don't have to prove your credentials. Don't feel like you have to prove your credentials to anybody else. You absolutely do not.
Well, my take is like this, Joanne, and I'm a little. I agree with you 125%. But then the flip side is you're going to have other people in that room that are not doing a great job, that are not excellent, that are not affirmative action hires, and they still shouldn't be there. And I don't understand how you're dealing with that, but then regular old other people don't have anything to prove, that don't deal with anything. I think that and I'm an entrepreneur, so I obviously I've done it. I said, I would say F the money, hence the net title of the show. I'd probably go to my boss and I'd be like, I'm sick of, and I say the exact same thing that you said. I would say, if you do not handle this, I'm going to have an issue. To me, the company should do a memo saying, Darnell is not an affirmative action hire. Please stop this. Here are his credentials.
This is a HR issue. This is a human resources issue. This is very, very disrespectful.
And I think that, you should be able to be on your job, no matter what color you are, and be average. I believe that. I think that I understand how Black folks, how we are. We overachieve, especially within their companies. But we shouldn't have to. They don't have to. They have an agreement. They got hired. They have a contract. They do the bare minimum and they still get the promotions. But we have to be the best to prove that we're not. I'm an affirmative action hire. Yes, I am. I've gotten many contracts because I was Black or whatever minority they chose to write off on their taxes or whatever they were for me. So I believe that you should still be able to be average and be there and be Black. And if they had to hire you because of affirmative action, that says something about their company, not you. Because they got average ass white folks. It rubs me the wrong way. My goodness. And I hate that these Black folks are going through this emotional stuff just so they could have a job.
Just so you can have a job. Just so you could just do your day job. Just so you could just do your day job. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Listen, I'm that person. I don't have to prove to you. You will see the proof. You will see the proof when I smash it out the park. You will see the proof when, I mean, that's just me personally. Like I wouldn't be proving myself to anybody, but obviously everyone's different. It is really, really, that's one of the worst things I've heard. It's very, very disrespectful. And again, like you said, the onus is on the business to deal with this issue. It's not on your head to deal with the issue.
Wow. Okay. We got to take a little money break. We got to make some money real quick. We got Monday.com, you guys, who is a phenomenal guys out there. If you guys have your business, you guys are trying to scale. I'm going to play a commercial real quick, Ms. Joanne. I'll be back in like a minute and 30 seconds. But after this, Joanne, you're going to get a kick out of this. We're segregated around here. And so the next we have the white questions. And you better get ready, Joanne. They have me cracking up every single episode. But just play the Monday because she's here. For her, yeah. Because, they requested that I play their spot while you're here, Miss Joanne.
.com is the ideal platform for any organization that is looking to make their work more efficient. For nearly 40 years, the Smyrna team has been assembling quality, award-winning cars, trucks, crossovers, and SUVs.
Monday.com is ingrained in our work life and our project tracking and has become an essential operating system at Nissan. The extensive customization allows us to build whatever we need. And for a large organization, it saves a lot of confusion and a lot of time.
Monday.com allows us to connect all of the platforms we use through integrations. If we need to share a file with someone or a calendar with someone, we can do that with Monday.
We've tried quite a few different platforms, and I've seen them come and go. I believe Monday.com has to stay in power because they're transforming as we're growing and transforming, so we know that they're growing right along with us.
Hey, you guys, Kareem Jackson live on the set, and you are at the studio, baby. And guess where we're at? We're in the Philippines, man. We're in Manila. We are live on the set, the studio, home of all of my fabulous shows. Kareem Jackson live on the set. We got Freedom Daily. We got Black LinkedIn. All of this here, you guys, and we're right here, right in the heart of the city. The studio by K & Co, you guys. Kareem Jackson live on the set. Come on in here, you guys. See what we got going on. Check us out. You guys, Black KC is here. I Love Dreadlocks is here. Outsource Everything. Entrepreneur 101 is here, you guys. All of them. Black LinkedIn. Brothers are here. We are all live on the set. This is where we help you turn your dreams into reality, you guys. We are live and we are here to help the community and all of you. The Monkey in the Room, that segment you guys all love, it's right here too. And you guys have all been wondering how we do it, why we do it. And if we can help you do it, come on in. Let's help you with your podcast. Let's help you with what you're trying to do, be a guest on our show, whatever. But the studio is here, and we have catering, we have cocktails. Thank you, liquorexpress.ph. We have producers and co-producers, makeup, barbers. It's all here, you guys. Kareem Jackson live on the set at the studio in the Philippines, baby. We are in the Philippines, bitch.
Three, two, one. We are live. Hello, world. Success is for everyone, baby. You're live on the set with Kareem Jackson. Yes, let's go.
Hey, you guys, I'm glad that you're here. I'm Kareem Jackson. You're live on the set. You guys, this is our second segment. This is an amazing episode. You guys have been waiting for this one right here. This Joanne Penny is live with me. This electrifying episode of the Friday show with Kareem Jackson live, you guys. Me and my special guest, Joanne Penny, we delving into all these great issues, these game-changing discussions. The whole episode is called Fuck the Money, because we believe that happiness is the new ROI and diversity equals profits. So we're getting into all these questions. If you just tuned in right now, you missed all the black questions, so you got to watch the replay. But now for the funniest and the best part of our segment, The Monkey in the Room, y'all, with Joanne Penny right over here, the Q&A DEI segment. These are the white questions, Miss Joanne Penny. Are you ready? Are you ready, girl?
I think so. I'm not sure. I think so. And I need to ask you after the show, why are we segregating the black and white questions? But anyway, that's
because it's kind of like because they ask different things. And so we put them together the first episode, like, oh, ask questions, right? And then it seemed like both were more shy and more concerned when they thought that they were mixed together. But when you said that to just certain people, that you could ask any question that you can't ask your DEI person. It's a different question to black folks than it is white folks. Black folks are all about, I'm feeling stressed out. I can't deal with the mental issues.
I can't do it. I can't do it. Yeah, I can't do it.
No, it's a whole different segment. Then when you hear, just give her the first question so she can see what I'm talking about. Because they're very different, and I feel sorry for everybody involved because I do feel like, wow, I can't imagine having coworkers and you can't even talk to them. You can't relate to them. Like, you don't even know. You got to literally pay someone to tell you what to say to a black person, like they're an alien or something.
Here's the first question.
No, here's the first question.
I've heard about the concept of white guilt. How do I navigate discussions about race without feeling guilty or defensive?
Go, Joanne. I told you they're gonna get you. It's got to be a caveat. Have you heard about white guilt? And then you go into you like, well, how do I? So do you have white guilt or not?
I haven't, to be honest with you, I haven't actually heard the concept white guilt, but I totally get it. It's the the name's on the tin. But really, isn't this about navigating your own emotions in terms of having those discussions about race? At the end of the day, you need to be able to confidently navigate this conversation. And the way you're going to do that is by educating yourself so that you are confident and able to hold, healthy discussions. And you're coming from a position of knowledge. And so most people want to have these conversations, but what they're failing to realize is that they don't have the education around the subject to actually navigate the conversation. So I would say it really is about, how you're having these conversations, how confident you are, and how educated you are in terms of the nuances, people's lived experiences. Do you understand the impact on marginalized communities? Are you able to have this conversation in a helpful and a conducive way, without centering yourself on feeling guilty? Because this really isn't about you. And for me, I haven't, like I said, I haven't really heard this term white guilt, but I can see what it is. But for me, my instinctive reaction is, so in this whole conversation, in this whole dynamic, when we understand that there are black and brown and ethnically diverse communities that are totally being marginalized, what you're doing is putting the emphasis on yourself and saying, I feel guilty. So you're, instead of dealing with the issues at hand or the conversation, you're centering your emotions over and above this conversation, and that's not right.
She said it, not me. So I'm gonna leave it right there because I'm stuck on the whole I've heard of. But then you said that you feel possibly guilty and defensive. So yeah. But anyway, the next question, please, because I tell you they're gonna get you every time.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Well, I hear you wonderfully. They hear you wonderfully too, I'm sure.
Okay, good. Okay, good.
It's not about you.
Next question.
This is not about you. Not about you. Okay, David from San Francisco. You want to be an ally, but I'm afraid of saying the wrong thing. How can I actively support the black community without unintentionally causing harm? This goes back to what I was just saying before. Do you have the knowledge, the skills, the education to be an authentic ally? Because if you don't, you are going to unintentionally cause harm. So what you need to do is you need to go and do the work, David. You need to go and do the work in terms of understanding the narrative, understanding the landscape, understanding the people that you know, and your the black community in a way that is speaking to them and not what you think they need. So it really is about having that education piece and underpinning that.
Well, I think that in a nutshell, that means that, David, you can. Yeah, that's what it sounded like.
You can. You absolutely. To be an active ally and advocate is actually what we need. We do need that. But like, I mean, I'm glad that you posed this question because you're actually thinking ahead. No, I don't want to harm anybody. I want to actively support. So my honest answer to you is that is brilliant. And just and go and do the work and make sure that you really understand what people are going through and their experiences, and then working out what can I do about it. So when I talk about allyship and advocacy of people, I say you need to work out what's in your relative remit, power, and influence to advocate for change. And that could be down, from a CEO to the person who cleans the office. You still have relative power and influence, and you can still advocate for change. But in terms of, I suppose, in a practical way, if I could help you, is when you're going to do something that looks like allyship, ask yourself, why am I doing this? Who am I doing it for? And what's the outcome going to be, and is that the outcome going to be for the person that I want it to be for? So asking those three questions every time you see a piece of allyship or you want to do something, I think it helps bring it into, am I doing this for me? Am I doing this for someone else? Again, sort of not centering yourself. But thank you for the allyship piece.
Wow. Okay. The next question, Julius.
Jennifer from New York. I've heard that color blindness is problematic. Can you explain why and how can I better understand and address race without being colorblind?
Wow. I love that you're so sweet, Joanne, because I really find myself having a very direct response, but I'm going to
You
allow you
go.
to answer
You
this
go.
one. First of
You want
all,
me to? You go.
there's no such thing as colorblind. I don't know how is it that I'm in the Philippines. I'm the only black in the room. I don't feel any of the things you feel back home, like you feel like you're only black when you're with a white company. So it's nothing to do with color. It's
Yeah.
completely to do with the attitude and the energy. And then with the
Yeah.
color blindness thing, I got a brown Filipino and a white Filipino in my office with me. I can't just because I say, I don't know if this is a black thing or what, but just because I say they're Filipino or they're African or they're American, we don't have an issue. I don't have to be colorblind. I can see your color and know that I don't even like rice, but I need a rice cooker in my office because we have a diverse team. I don't have to actually say it or think about it or be mad about it. I don't. Every now and then maybe I complain because rice is expensive. I'm like, oh, how much is that? But otherwise,
Yeah.
they don't drink soda like I do. So I want my soft drinks though. So, but
Yeah.
there's nothing about being colorblind in it for us. So I never understand. And this is maybe where how you can answer, Joanne. I don't understand why we don't have an issue with any of these things, but you have so many issues with every damn thing.
I'm gonna back you, Kareem. It's scientific that you do see color. It is scientific that you do see people for who they are. So you will notice if someone is black or brown. You will see that. So the color blindness really is, I don't agree with that terminology. I don't agree with it. Period. And I think people who say I don't see color are actually undermining people and undermining their heritage and their culture and where they come from. Actually, it's best to acknowledge, that representation rather than saying I don't see it. So I think people think it's a positive thing to say, oh, I don't see you as black. But actually, scientifically, you absolutely know I'm the black person in the room. So let's not go there, right? Let's not go there.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you. What was the next one, Julius? This is amazing to me.
Robert from Los Angeles. What's the best way for white individuals to engage in conversation about systematic racism with their white peers without being met with resistance?
One
I'll
more
repeat.
time. One more time for the folks in the back.
Robert from Los Angeles. What's the best way for white individuals to engage in conversations about systematic racism with their white peers without being met with resistance?
Please go, Joanne.
How can
Because
you how can you stop how can you stop other people from being resistant to the conversation? You can't.
that's what I was like. How are you gonna? Oh, well, you. I'm gonna say this, but you can't feel anyway, uncle, auntie, cousin, neighbor. But please ask.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
no, no. Well, I mean, I'm a bit baffled. I'm like, well, you can't change someone's perspective. You can't change someone's opinion. You can't change that resistance. What you can do is really, again, and I know I sound like a politician. I keep saying the same thing over again, but if you are educated in that conversation, if you are able to navigate the nuances, if you are confident in talking about race and gender and other identities, then you will be able to engage engage in those conversations. And even if you are met with resistance, you will be able to deal with those firsthand. So I think it's less, oh, how can I stop resistance? It's like, how can I handle it? The way you can handle it is by being knowledgeable. And also, if you're a leader within an organization, then some of the best ways to get people to understand what is going on is to actually do data metrics in the office. Is to actually to demonstrate the real picture of what's going on. So in terms of ethnicity pay gap, reporting, or gender pay gap reporting, all of these. Otherwise, you're just doing this in the air. So, do you understand your retention figures? Do you understand who's staying, who's leaving? Your attraction figures. Sometimes the best way to talk to people is to have those evidential factors, so you can be demonstrative of the whole picture in a very concrete way. And then it's very difficult for them then to have that resistance piece, right?
And I'll tell you too. One thing I'll add to I'll caveat to what you said is maybe change the fact that systemic racism, that's not really our word. That's your word. I don't need to say the word systemic racism to say, well, why is it that Tyrone makes less money than Karen or Ken for that matter? I don't need to say the word systemic racism to say, why are there no blacks working here? Although our city, there's many things you can talk about without actually saying systemic racism as a white person speaking with other white people. That's right.
So maybe rather than having an umbrella term in terms of systemic racism, but it may just be for posing this question, but actually to sort of go to more the granular detail in terms of what some of those issues are. So why, instead of systemic racism, I've noticed that we have a lack of representation for XYZ, in this corporate space, this environment, or getting more down to the, or people aren't getting promoted, like you said, or not getting paid. Is there a way of just becoming more granular rather than having it too broad?
But I'm going to the next question, Julius. I'm a little baffled too. So this is the word peers is here. It's a white dude in Los Angeles where they diversify.
It's the wrong question.
Say it again.
Well, there's no wrong question, but I think it's less about how can you change people and their resistance, and more about how you handle it. And so that's about empowering yourself with knowledge, right?
But this is the kind of stuff that you're dealing with when you're a DEI consultant, Joanne?
Oh yeah,
this
absolutely.
Is what's happening in those boxes?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Oh
yeah,
my
absolutely.
God. It's like, how I'm sorry. Oh, I was gonna say, I was gonna say, how the hell do you work with people? There is no nationality of human beings on this planet that I believe that I couldn't talk about something that was happening to them that shouldn't be happening to them. It doesn't matter whether it's work or if I'm walking down the street and I see a Chinese man being bullied, or if I see a woman and her boyfriend's yelling at her. I don't need someone to say, oh my God, how do I help this woman? Especially when it's in my office. I don't need a consultant or a way or method to address things that are not righteous.
I think you do. I think you do. If you're a multi-billion pound organization, if you're a senior leader, you don't necessarily know what's going on the ground. So if you've got thousands of people working for you, do need to have some systems in place to deal with those issues. Obviously, if you're working in a very small office, those issues are very obvious. But I think as you're sort of looking across the spectrum and you're looking across different organizations, those much bigger ones do need to have mechanisms in place to handle these conversations.
So maybe he means looking at the spreadsheets. He means literally institutional racism, like things that are in their policies. Maybe
I don't think so. I think what it just means. I think he's probably tried to have, and respect to you. He's probably tried to have some of these conversations about racism, and it's fallen flat in the office because people don't really get it. They don't understand. Yeah. They don't understand other people's lived experience. But again, what is the business doing to address some of those issues? What's in place so that are they creating safe spaces so you can have those conversations?
Okay, the next question.
Next question, yeah.
Michelle from Miami. I've noticed that some companies are implementing white affinity groups. What's the purpose of these groups? And how can they contribute to positive change? I don't want to repeat it.
Oh, you know what, Joanne? I don't have any idea what the hell that is. White affinity groups?
I have never heard of a white affinity group, but again, I've just realised that I do know what the Crown Act is, but when we were talking about the Crown Act. But anyway, the white affinity group. Oh no, that's not what we were talking about. What was the other one? We didn't know, but we said it was like it said what it was on the tin. But anyway, white affinity groups. I imagine that they're well. I can imagine what they are, but there has been a rise in white individuals and particularly white men who are feeling excluded because of this inclusion conversation for marginalized communities. That's a whole different show in itself.
Yeah, I'm like, white affinity. Again, like I have an affinity for beautiful women with short hair. That's what it means, right? Like, that's kind of.
But I think they're feeling left out. So they're going, oh my god, why are we doing all this stuff for black people? Why are we doing this stuff for brown people? Why are we doing this stuff for ethnically diverse people? So we're gonna have our own
white love. We're
gonna have our white lives matter. I think it's white lives matter.
That's what it is. Okay.
And we don't do white lives matter. We're not having any white affinity groups. We are not advocating white affinity groups because the impression, the history, the dynamic does not apply to you. You do not need a white affinity group.
Wow. Okay. Well, let me read it one more time just for myself so I can at least try to answer. Okay, first of all, we don't actually know what these, we are black folks answering white questions. So this is a question that I believe that we should be asking you. What are y'all's white affinity groups and what's the purpose of them? Like you said, I don't know why you even asked this. They knew who they're asking it to. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know who you're talking to. So but again, they do ask a lot of questions where I'm wondering, why don't you know this? How do they not know these things?
Why are you having a white affinity group? You don't need a white affinity group. You're not the people that have been oppressed. So I'm a strong advocate of an employee resource group for marginalized communities. But as white people, you are not a marginalized community, so you don't need the group.
Well, you guys, that's actually our last question. We got through it. We got right to it. But you see this whole situation, this whole auspice of what I'm trying to do here, Joanne, is trying to address a lot of these black folks that are dealing with these things. I don't want to say the ignorance in a bad way, but the ignorance, they're dealing with it because as black people, I will say this, we can go anywhere in the world and not offend nobody.
Yeah.
So I don't understand how you're offending people. I don't understand how it's so hard. Now I can't empathize because, black folks are good at that too. I could empathize with the questions and realize, oh, you really don't know. But like you said, It's because all of them, they're so worried about themselves, as opposed to us. I'm in another country. My studio, I have two. I have one in the States and one here, but I'm in the Philippines in our studio in Manila, and I don't have any issue with the race. There's no need for diversity, equity, and inclusion person, even on their behalf. They know that black folks, we like fried chicken. They like fried chicken. There's nothing to really. I don't. There's nothing condescending about it. There's no,
Yeah,
Filipinos
yeah.
want. I don't understand the issue they have. What do you? I mean, what do you think? I mean, you deal with this. So when you're sitting in front of them at these coaching, and now I see why they pay you the big bucks. They really just don't know. They never had friends when they were kids. They were black or white.
They may have, but they're in a completely different world, right? And then as you become older, and that translates into the corporate and business sector, you become more and more, distant. So yeah, it's. I also do when I'm doing like workshops or talks or speaking to senior leaders. Always one of the questions I ask them is, how many people do you know from marginalized communities?
Mm-hmm.
And often that's a very uncomfortable question, because
Really?
people do have affinity bias. So they surround themselves with people who look and are like them. And if you're a white senior leader, you're pretty much your demographic is going to be that, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Man, okay. Well, you guys, I just want to bring Joanne on. I know you're crazy busy, but I figured it'd be a great way for them to get some real advice from you. I know you're busy and you
Thank
cost money.
you.
You
Thank
cost
you.
money. You
Yeah.
ain't free. So this is a free taste of Joanne Penny, DEI expert diva on LinkedIn. She's got a phenomenal book, you guys. She's got a great website. She's got some great clients. She's got a great situation and a great system and a great the way they do things. So it's one of those things, you guys, where when you guys are looking for DEI, the difference between Joanne, and this is from the white perspective for you guys, she gets the money. She gets the whole diversity with profits things. And you guys are really rudimentary on your bridges national courses, but or racial courses. You guys don't even know how to talk to black people. You don't even know how to just say, hey, good morning, without feeling like, I don't even understand that. I really feel bad for you though, because I know you're telling the truth. I know you really feel this way. So Joanne, do you want to tell them about your book that's just come out? I mean, I know all about it, but how about you want to talk about it?
Yeah, we can talk about it. Yep. So,
Yes.
yes, let's talk about the book. So it's called The Roadmap to Diversity, Equity and Inclusion. And I like to call it a practical toolkit for particularly for people in the corporate space, but really working out, are they on their journey authentically? Are they showing up with that longevity? Are they working out DE&I effectively with impact? Do they have measured outcomes or measurements that they can, with outcomes? And so this book really takes you through, 1 to 7, I think maybe between 1 to 7 steps of what that should look like in your corporate space. And it's very practical. There's lots of advice in there, suggestions, conversational piece, a bit like what we've done today. And you can find it on my website, www.ampupyourvoice.com, and let me know how you find it when you buy it.
Well,
Thank you.
And I'm telling you this too, is you guys, this ain't no ebook. This is a real digital book. It's like, what, 37 pages? How many pages? Is it 37 pages?
I think it's more. Is it 60, 70?
I forgot. It's a real book though, y'all. Ain't no damn ebook.
It's a book. It's a book. It's a book. It's a book.
It ain't no like, you can sit on that.
It's about 70 pages.
Okay. 70. Maybe it's 73 pages. Maybe that's what I'm flipping around.
Yeah.
73-page book, you guys, breaks down all of this stuff for you and gets deeper into it. I thought this would be great. You guys can get some questions. But I know one thing. Where are we at here? I can name some names of people that need to get this damn book. Hold on one second, y'all. I think I hit my microphone. I'm sorry, I got a little static. Okay, good. Hold on one second, Joanne. Okay. Emily in Chicago, you need this damn book. David in San Francisco, you need this book. Jennifer in New York City, yeah, you need this book. The whole color blindness. You sure need this book. Robert in Los Angeles, with your individuals engaging in systemic, you need this book. Michelle from Miami, I don't know what you're talking about, girl. You need to have this damn book too. So there's 5 people that I can list right there that would benefit from your book, Joanne.
Absolutely. And read the book, tell your friends, have it in your office. Lots of people use it as a guide in the office. Yeah.
Because, I used to not really get why the DEI thing was big, but then every week, and we have these questions, they send them in and then we have them, or either while we're talking, they ask, and then we edit them and add them to the show. And it always amazed me how they don't know how to communicate with Black people or people of color. I don't know. Say it again.
There's a lot of fear. There's a lot of fear around saying the wrong thing and not doing the right thing. And so people tend to become very reserved and they go into themselves because they're like, I don't want to say the wrong thing and I don't want to mess up. But actually, that's the wrong way to handle it. It's, again, goes back to, how can you confidently go in and have that conversation with your coworker who's ethnically diverse or Black, rather than ignoring them.
And you guys, Joanne's book is actually, we helped her put this book together. She put a year of her life during COVID and beyond into this book. She put her blood, sweat, and tears into it. We thought it was going to be 30 pages or 25 pages. It ended up being 73 because it was just too good and too juicy. But it kind of takes you through her seminar. Am I correct, Joanne? Her seminar or her coaching process with you. And if you do engage her for a session or a group or whatever it might be, this is kind of the outline and the roadmap that you take them through. Am I correct?
Absolutely right. Absolutely spot on. Yeah.
Because I think that a lot of you guys this is a great show. This is the first show like this on LinkedIn where they're really asking questions from people or really telling them, please give us your questions. We're not going to judge you. We may laugh at your ass though, because I'm the funny Black guy from America. She's a professional. I'm not a professional. And it's just funny to me. But it's no different than if you were in the office and you asked me this question. I would laugh at you, but I would answer your damn question, though. But you're going to get the Black. You feel me? I'm not going to keep the Black to make you feel comfortable. The same as if I asked you, how do I make, what's the salad, the mayonnaise salad, whatever, how do I make something? And you're going to tell me how to make it. But you may, joke with me a little bit about, oh, so you like our mayonnaise salad, But for us, there's no racism. There's nothing there. Joanne's not coming at you like she feels bad about white people. Whereas for some reason from the other side, it's always this negative. I don't want to feel this way. I don't want to feel that way. I don't want to be, as opposed to just understanding you should know this stuff just by living on earth with other human beings. But if you don't, that's okay. Get Joanne's book. Take her course, hire her for your organization, because then you can get this information. Anything else you want to say, Joanne?
No, just thank you for having me on the show. Thank you to everyone who's listening. Thank you for your questions. It was a good discussion, and I'm super pleased to be able to answer those and help you a little bit. So we'll see you soon.
We're gonna do it again. We're gonna do it again when it's we do it again when we get some more things situated, or get you on with a group of people when we have a whole bunch of DEI type situations. So don't worry, girl. We're gonna get you on again. I just wanted to pop up. I just told her a few days ago I wanted to have her on the show, so I'm glad that you were able to come.
Thank you, Kareem.
Thank you, and you have a good day in London. Tea time, I think, correct?
No, it's lunchtime. We put it lunchtime. Lunchtime.
What time is tea time?
The sun's gone in now. It's 5 to 2. Okay. In the afternoon. 5 to 2.
Well, fantastic.
Yeah. What time is it?
If you guys are in the Philippines, good evening to you. If you're in America, good morning to you. You guys can start off your morning with the show for Friday, so you can go into the office on Friday with some insights on DEI. And hopefully the folks that we answer their questions, you can actually go there and know how to do some things. We have a LinkedIn or a graphic for how we already showed all the graphics for Miss Joanne. We showed our book. Okay. Joanne, thank you very much, sister. I don't want to let you go with your day. I appreciate you being here, sister. I love you.
Thank you. Yeah, if they want to find my LinkedIn, they can just Google my name or just search my name on LinkedIn. So I'd love to have you as a connection. So thank you so much.
No, wait. We
Ah.
have it. Hold up. We have it. Show it up for
yeah.
them real quick. For people back, the folks in the back of the classroom. You see it?
Yeah.
There you go, you guys. You guys can go ahead and look at her, Joanne Penny, and it's Johannesburg Penny. Just for people like me, Americans don't know how to spell. It's not Joanne, like Joan. Joanne Penny, you guys on LinkedIn. She's the only one. You can connect with her, get with her. Her book is really phenomenal. You can go to her website. What is that? ampupyourvoice.com, correct? Okay, ampupyourvoice.com, you guys. That's Joanne Penny. Connect with her on LinkedIn. She is one of the few DEI people who get the connection between good DEI and profits. It's not just about beating you up because you don't know how to talk to black folks and you don't know what anti-racism is and you're so terrible and you're so dumb and you're so ignorant. She doesn't really go that route. She goes the whole route that, maybe that's true, but we know that you're about profits and you want to better your company. So I like her approach. But thank you very much. We're all good. Joanne, thank you very much. I want to thank you guys here with me for being here again. You guys, happy Friday to you. That was Joanne Penny. She's an amazing sister. She's one of those Black LinkedIn beautiful, the Black Girl Magic ones I'm telling you about. On Monday, you guys are going to be here again with Rakeem. I'm excited about him with the Black LinkedIn segment. It's going to be really off the chain this week because, of course, we got more questions and answers from you guys out there that want to get these things answered and asked. We got some more great videos to show you. I hope you guys have a fantastic Friday. If you're in Asia, or if you're in where Joanne is, then your day's almost done or it's already done. You can hit the weekend, so you made it. Be proud of yourself. Congratulate yourself. And just like Joanne said in her expression of these questions, it ain't all on you. This is not your thing. You're doing them a favor just by even thinking about the issues they have. And as I said, stop thinking that it's about you being in a white company and being the only black person there or person of color. I'm in freaking Asia. I'm the only Negro in most rooms, including my own company. I'm the only Negro here. Sometimes they have some African partners and some designers and things like that. So maybe there's 3 of us. Tops. That's IT, the cleaner, the custodian, the producer, the maid, the driver. There's 1 of me. And it's not an issue. I don't feel anything. So the fact that you're feeling something has nothing to do with you being the only black in that damn room. It has to do with the fact that they have some issues within that room that they need to address. And let me put this for the affirmative action folks out there too. You don't need to prove shit. There's some half-ass, average-ass white folks working right next to you. You should be able to be average, even a sorry-ass worker, and not have to prove yourself for being there because you're black, a person of color. You have the right to be black and average. Stop making them think that you got to build up and do great things and improve and be the top and all that stuff where you know damn well that they don't have to do that. So stop making yourself level up to these standards. Another thing about me that you guys know, KareemAntonio.com, is that when you get sick of this and you're tired of this, I have wrote a whole book of how I got free. I got free from corporations because I was sick of dealing with it. I said, fuck the money. And I didn't say, fuck it, and then give me this or give me that. I left the whole situation. And I've been an entrepreneur for over 25, 30 years. I got free really when I really got free and was able to go to Asia and do my own thing and whatever because I outsourced everything. And when I outsourced everything, it freed me up. And when it freed me up, I realized how rat race running I was because I never really had time to focus on, as you're asking here, my mental health, my wellness. And I was one of those brothers who was early in the shrink game. I had a therapist Mondays and Fridays years and years and years ago. And it led me to understand, why am I in therapy? Yeah, it's great that I'm getting therapy for the things that I need. That's wonderful. I get the whole American get therapy. Yeah, rah. That's great. It's more money that I had to spend in my pocket that I could have been putting in my family. And the first question that they asked me, and I really understood, and that's why I decided to get free, was why the hell am I feeling this mental issue, this anxiety, all the things you said here? Why am I feeling that any damn way? That's the question. You can talk to your therapist about dealing with the issues, but you should be also talking to yourself. Why am I having these issues? Maybe you need to change your situation. Anyway, Joanne's got a book. In her situation, you got one, but I got one too. My book is Outsource Everything. I got a few books, including the one by Kira Entrepreneurship 101. But this is Outsource Everything, you guys. And I'm glad that you're here. We're done. So watch this commercial. After this, go enjoy your damn weekend, people. Success is for everyone, and that means you. And this is how I got free, though. Watch this commercial, y'all. This is how I got free. But I ain't coming back. So after this commercial, TGIF, baby. Cheers. Hey, you guys, Kareem Jackson, you were live on the set. I've got some news to tell you. 10 years ago, I left California, USA on the beach, and I got on a plane. I went to the tropics, and I reinvented myself. I wanted to turn my dreams into reality. I had a great time, great friend. I published magazines, books. I meditated. I sipped coconuts, you guys. I had tattoo competition, weekly shows, and I want you guys to know I sat down, and I wanted to write step by step how I did it. How did I get free? How did I outsource everything? How did I get to where I could run my company from my laptop? And now I finished it. It is done. My new book, you guys, Outsource Everything, is out now. I finished it. I'm telling you all about how I gained my freedom, how I live in the tropics next to the beach in a beautiful lifestyle, and I still run my business. I outsource everything. My new ebook, it's out now, you guys. It's available right now, you guys. I made it to where freedom is here for you. You can get the same freedom that I did. It's totally possible, and it's totally doable, and this has never been a better time than to do it. Grab my new ebook, Outsource Everything, on Google Play and the App Store, you guys. And of course, KareemAntonio.com/my ebook. Outsource Everything. Outsource Everything, How to Be a Minimalist CEO by Kareem Jackson. Introduction for small business owners and entrepreneurs. Presented by K&Co America and the Chunkston Group. To break free. Oh my God, you guys are still here. Hey, okay, you guys, I'm so glad you're still here. I'm so glad you stuck around to the end because I want to show you some more about my book. I'm so excited about this. Outsource Everything, out now, you guys. It's out now. Go grab it. On my website, you guys, KareemAntonio.com. You can go to the App Store, any of these places, and go grab it. I want you to sit down, ponder this, and think about, why do I have the stress I have? Why am I working so hard? Why am I a slave to my business? Why do I not have more freedom? There's folks all over the world looking that can outsource to you. I'm going to introduce you to this, tell you why you don't need that new car, you don't need that bling bling, you don't need that house right now. Outsource everything. Get free. What good is that money? What good is all that fame and fortune if you are working every day like it's a job? Freedom is here. It's here for you, you guys. Grab my ebook, you guys. Outsource Everything. Google Play, the App Store, and of course, KareemAntonio.com/my ebook. Go grab it, you guys.